Hello, I'm Death's Arrow, and this is a WoT I'm Thinking Debrief for the week of February 24th, 2013. Something I see quite often on the WoT forums as well as in the in-game chat are players that say I had so many kills or so many thousand points of damage in my last game, but the team lost. Generally speaking, it's a complaint against the rest of the team, as they consider their performance to be more than adequate to deserve a win. Here's the truth in these situations. The team didn't win because you either destroyed or damaged the wrong tanks, went to the wrong flank, died too soon, or just didn't do enough to help the team. No matter how good you think you did in that match, you could have done more. Wins are not deserved, they are earned. This discussion dovetails back into last week's debrief on statistical player evaluation. Generally speaking, there's a correlation between win rate, secondary stats, and player skill. Where stats run awry is in individual matches, as an individual's performance isn't necessarily indicative of anything. No matter a player's skill level, any player can have a great individual performance regardless of the match's outcome. That's not indicative of a trend, as stats only have real meaning over a significant number of battles. The real question when you have a good individual performance in a loss is to look at what you did wrong and figure out what more you could have done to help the team. Self-evaluation is an important part of improving one's gameplay. I highly recommend watching replays of your own battles with a critical eye towards the bigger picture of the battle. Liberally use the free camera mode along with the zoom out mod so you can see more than just what you are actually paying attention to in the battle. A second or even a third viewing will help you get a better idea of what went wrong and how you could have reacted better to it. On that note, the replay that we'll be looking at is from February 24th on Halluf in my T-54. I am platooned with Twins in his M103. As noted on the loading screen, this is an encounter battle. Reviewing tank composition for this battle reveals the following. This is a Tier 9 battle with 4 Tier 9s, 6 Tier 8s, 2 Tier 7s, and a single Tier 6 per side. The enemy team has a Tier 5 scout, while my team has a Tier 3, thanks to bad platooning. Both teams have a Tier 3 RDPs. I don't recognize anyone in this battle. Noting that this is an encounter battle, I quickly skim through and dissect the enemy team. Based on their lack of fast mediums, I feel confident that I can take the beach even if I have to go it alone. I asked Twins to take an overwatch role to ensure that I have coverage if the enemy sends more tanks down than I can handle. As the battle gets underway, I'm going to head right down to the beach, as I noted in the introduction. T-54 has really good speed and I should get there without any problems. Spot an IS-8, just been spotted. Enemy missed me a couple times and I get into cover. Got the IS-8, T-34 coming down the hill with a YAG Tiger 8.8 centimeter playing Overwatch. I try to line up the IS-8 and I bounce my first shot. I easily make it to the beach and take up a spot with both hard and soft cover, plus a few hull down locations. The T-54 has good turret armor, and its lack of gun depression isn't an issue since I'll be aiming upwards for the most part. And I hit the YAG Tiger 8.8 centimeter on the lower plate. I lit him on fire. He immediately hit his fire extinguisher, or he has the premium fire extinguisher, which is automatic. Bounce a shot, probably from the IS-8. Trying to line up the YAG Tiger again. And I hit him. Got a YAG Tiger and now a Pershing on Overwatch. T-34's down this little valley a little bit. And I knock out the YAG Tiger 8.8 centimeter. Thought about shooting the Pershing for about half a second there and changed my mind because he was only showing turret. He was pretty much hull down. Looking at the mini-map, you can see that majority of our team is headed north. This KV-4 is really screwed up here by trying to come down to the beach and getting tracked in the open. Really nothing I can do about it. Trying to line up the Pershing again. T-34 is out in the open, but I'm reloading. Got a Chaffee at H9. Not sure what he's doing in that position. Get a hit on the T-34, no damage. Bounced a shot in the interim, probably the IS-8. Playing it real careful here, as I am alone down here, and I'm the forward spotter. IS-8's lit again. Pershing's trying to get in close on him. Lining up the WZ-131. Get a hit. He's backing out. IS-8 is backing out. I'm going to try to get a shot on him. And I miss. T-34 is pushing up the middle. IS-8's back into his cover spot. Chaffee's still up above me. Decide to move up to the next rock outcrop. T-34 is continuing to move forward. We were capping low, and M103 had pushed down to the cap and destroyed our capper, which was the T-127. Not a big loss. The enemy is now capping. I'm going to push forward and see if I can relight the IS-8, and I do. I hit him in the front, back up, bounce his return shot. The WZ-131 is popped out again, applying Overwatch. Get another hit on the IS-8. Pushing into the IS-8 was a bit of an overreach. While I do get 2 solid hits in on him, the Pershing and WZ-131 are able to get hits in while I'm out of cover. Getting tracked in a T-54 with a crew 100% skilled in repair is just a minor annoyance and not worth wasting a repair kit on in this situation. Take a hit from the IS-8, down to 57% health now. Try to line up the WZ-131. Bounce the shot, and I hit him. He's down to 228 health. Looks like he took some arty splash or something. Now going to make another push in on the IS-8. Line him up. Knock him down. He's using heat rounds there, which are premium. Make sure I got the penetration. With the IS-8 knocked down, I'm free to move up the hill. With the northern flank in trouble, I need to get moving or this match will definitely be a loss. I'm going to push up the hill. Lining up the 59-16. Knock him down. I'd switch back to AP rounds, by the way. Going to continue to push up the hill. The only enemy that I'm aware of over here is the Chaffee. And the Chaffee's out in the open, tracking him. Slow down for a second, and I get a hit in the flank. He's down to 28 hit points. Enemy is still capping the base. Got the Pershing across the way. Lining up the Pershing, miss my shot. He hits me in the track, no damage. I've mistakenly put myself into a crossfire with the Pershing, T-34, and Chaffee. Thankfully, the T-34 isn't paying attention to me. Tried to line up the T-34 and he disappears before I can get my shot. Take a blind fire. Likely a miss because it would have killed him. Go down the ramp a little bit. Waiting for the T-34 to get lit again. Decide to turn around and go back up the hill. T-34 pops up again. Back out of my cover spot and line him up. Knock him down. Bounce another shot. Bounces return fire. Knowing that just the Pershing is the only tank across from me at the moment, I decide I'm going to push up on him. Staying in a standoff position against the Pershing when he's partially hulled down is not a good trade-off for me, especially if he decides to change to premium rounds, so he'll be able to pin my turret pretty easily in that case. Chaffee is down on the beach now. Somehow he got around me. Take a shot at him, and no damage. The northern flank is essentially lost at this point. The pressure is mounting as the enemy continues to knock down tanks. WZ-131 hits me for minor damage. This is a bit of a mistake here. I'm pushing up on the Pershing, so I'm feeling the pressure as the team has been failing on the northern flank, and I need to make something happen. Down to 7% health. Really bad spot as I backed into the dead Jagdtiger 8.8 centimeter. This is a huge mistake. Pushing on the Pershing while he has support from the WZ-131 ends the match for me. I lost my patience and paid the price. We are down by 3 tanks. The southern flank has been crushed with my death. While the view has switched to Twin's tank, I won't belabor the remainder of this match. With my tank's destruction, the southern flank is broken, allowing the Pershing, WZ-131, and Chaffee free rein across the valley and pick the team apart. Twins does his best given the situation, but is quickly surrounded and picked apart, and we lose the match. Based on information from the WoT Replay Manager, I destroyed 4 tanks, damaged 3 more, hit 17 of 24 shots, and did 3,939 points of damage and earned 991 experience in the loss. Overall, I noticed right off the bat that the enemy team was lacking in fast high-tier mediums, so pushing the beach would be a good tactical choice. My decision-making paid off as I correctly read the situation and was able to make it to the beach without taking a hit. From there, I was able to work over the enemy team on that flank and eventually broke through the valley. In the meantime, the northern flank was getting crushed even though they had numerical superiority. This was likely due to the enemy having 3 tier 9s on that flank while we only had 2, and a T-54E1 barely qualifies as a tier 9 tank. As the pressure mounted, I began to take more risks pushing into several crossfire situations. Pushing recklessly on the Pershing and WZ-131 led to my destruction, and the match quickly fell apart after that. 4 kills and 3,939 points of damage is a good effort, but the match was a loss. Those numbers have no meaning without context. In this match, the effort wasn't sufficient to secure a win. The point where this match fell apart was when I made my reckless charge into the Pershing and WZ-131. While my tank is superior one-on-one to either of those enemies, given the terrain and the enemy's positioning, it was a huge mistake. I felt the pressure at this point in the match to make something happen, as defeating those 2 enemies would allow me to flank out the enemies in the north. Instead, I took myself out of the match, giving the enemies free rein in the south, which eventually led to the loss. Thank you for watching this WoT I'm Thinking debrief. Stay tuned for more content soon.
Ha 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 ha.